Welcome back to the Batmaning of. This is a show where we venture down the rabbit hole of the DC universe and look at the wonderful natured characters they have to offer us and turn them into a franchise like the Batman has become. This time around, we are venturing into the world of magic, where we're going to be exploring the wonderful, wicked wonders. It's a weird way to put it, but keeping it in it anyways. Just stuttered through that one too, but we're keeping it in anyways because we are talking about Zatanna, and I cannot wait to jump into this one. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Batmaning of Zatanna. So out of all of the characters that I've already talked about doing this video, Zatanna represents one of the favorite parts of the DC universe for me, and that is the magic side of things. I love the DC magic world. I love the colorful characters and the way it interprets itself and the way it just flows into something beautiful. It is so interesting and nuanced and full of just colorful, interesting storylines. I love everything that happens in that world, and I love that it takes place inside this realm of these classic Silver Age heroes. You can have this weird intensity with these magical beings doing some weird stuff. That is so cool to me and so fun. And Zatanna represents the best possible place of the DC universe in terms of magic. She's a top tier character that a lot of people could recognize instantly, while still being steeped in this world that is so intrinsical and full of this colorful nuance that I adore. She is the best of both worlds. She is one part Justice League, your friendly face superhero, another part dealing with devil shit. It's very fun and very creative, and she is a fantastic character to explore that. And she just represents some of the positive side of the DC universe. While she's intrinsically connected to this dark story and these dark characters, a part of her will always be happy and smiling and doing the right thing for people and venturing into new unknown worlds to carry on the legacy of her father and be the brightest hero you can be. I love that. I love what she represents. Just that classic kind of pin-up-y fun of a magic character. Is her costume a little outdated at times? Yeah, the one that people like is. It's kind of silly and fun, but it goes to that showman style. She is a showman. She is a magician. She is a magician. She is a part of this world, and she plays into the magical hat side of things, as opposed to just being like this weird, angsty person. She's like, there's theatrics to this. We're going to have fun. I may be silly stage lady, but I can also be hardcore intense lady, and that's just a fun balance between a strike between those two chords. Everything about her just works that way, and it's super cool, and I've always been fascinated by this character. She is so fun to me, and one of the things I always talk about when I look at the DC world, I always want to go in and say, like, I want to write for Zatanna because she's just a character who is so fun and energetic, but can go to all these different routes. She is one of those characters, kind of like when I spoke about Oliver Queen, where you can put her in any type of situation and you could do something with that character. If you want it to be a lighthearted story, you can do that. If you want it to be a dark, intense story, you can do that. If you want it to be kind of silly, you can do that. She can really put on any cap and make it work in that way. And that's something that is so cool to see in a character like this. And it amazes me, it astonishes me to no end that this character hasn't become a top tier character, because she is everything you need for a top tier character. Whimsical and fun, dark and brooding, can go into these interesting places and instantly recognizable. And that's really cool. All she does is say words backwards and turns it into magic. It's a very cool premise and a very cool character that deserves to get more love. And the fact that she hasn't really broken free of those bondages is kind of impressive to me. Was just always there, but never the one in the center stage. And that's kind of something you'd want to explore when turning her into a top tier character like that. She is a part of a bigger universe, just the face through it. And I think that's very fun. Like I said earlier, when we look at all the characters we talk about, I want to give my personal opinion on them and how I feel about them. Zatanna is my favorite character we've talked about so far. I love every story she's in. I think she's a fun character, and when she appears, it's always an interesting time. They have done so many unique things with her, giving her different roles, and currently I really like where she's at in this position of kind of leading her own interpretation of the Justice League. It's a very fun story for her, and it gives her something to do that she hasn't really done before. I do enjoy that. And of course, there's just something to be said about the girl from the fishnet leggings and the top hat to becoming a full-fledged member of a superhero team like this. And currently, I hope it's not spoilers enough, but currently she is a part of the death of the Justice League as being an official Justice Leaguer member. So that's just really cool. The evolution of kind of just like the silly stage magician to the person she becomes. I love seeing that, and I love reading her character because she can literally do no wrong in my opinion. She'll always be the good person, and that's really fun to see. Now, like a lot of the characters on this list, we can talk about the live-action adaptations of these characters and kind of say how they were before. We don't really have that for Z here. She was in Smallville for a minute, played by Zelinda Swan, and yeah, she was in an episode, and yeah, it's fine. She was exactly what you'd expect from the era. I have no opinion on it. It's just something that exists that we should talk about kind of before we jump into this world. So there you go. There's Zatanna in live action. The fact she doesn't have more, kind of frustrating, isn't it? And you know, one of the things I like to talk about when we kind of like go into my actual pitch is I want to be like, okay, we have these characters. When they did the Batman, Mary was like, it's an inspiration from Chinatown and the French Connection. I want to do one of those kind of films. When it comes to that kind of pitch for Zatanna, my idea was, oh, clearly it has to be like Alice in Wonderland, like Alice Through the Looking Glass. You're looking at this character who is stepping into a larger world and doesn't really know what's going on, but isn't afraid of what she is seeing. That to me is a key part of Zatanna and something I want to see from her. She is essentially our figurehead or our, point of view character going into the larger world of this magical place. And more than any other show or more than any other pitch I'm going to give to you, presumably, on the show, Zatanna is going to be the one steeped in cameos. And that's not like a negative about anything else. I'm just like, her world she is going into is full of colorful and bright characters. Even if you are not introducing these characters, you should have them present and a part of the story, because that is just what she represents. And when I'm going for a tone, I'm really trying to strike that right balance between twisted madcap Tim Burton-y, but I'm not using Tim Burton as a director. It's like that Tim Burton style, where it's these, dark intrinsic colors and this like weird camera movement mixed with the fun flow of a Sam Raimi, just like clashing those two worlds, kind of like that dystopian gothic feeling mixed with that ever-loving campy fun. You clash those together, that is the perfect feel for a Zatanna picture. It would look really well and flow really cool. And for my premise, I always like to go into this thinking of a villain for a show like this. Zatanna has a couple villains, not ones I think are really worth starting out with. So my pick for a villain to start off a Zatanna movie would be Clarion the Witch Boy. And basically, my premise for like the actual story would be this figure Clarion going through the magical world and taking the magic from these other beings. And thusly, Zatanna's like, you are somebody who has faced my father before. Now I'm going to have to step into this world I know enough about, but now I really have to understand what's going on here. It's, again, kind of that Alice in Wonderland thing where she is going into this world she doesn't know to search for this thing or search for this person that her father has experience and history with. I want to start off with Zatara dead. I know some people will be like, we should show the origin. You don't need to. She's an established woman who is still learning magic, and now she is thrust into the larger world involving these magic characters. Maybe we see Deadman or Entrigan or Ragman or the Spectre or Phantom Stranger or Bobo the Detective or Constantine even. Maybe Constantine's her on-again, off-again flame who makes a couple appearances. What we're seeing, though, is this woman who has an understanding of magic going deeper into a world of magic to find the person that potentially killed her father, this bratty little kid named Clarion who is manipulating the world into thinking he is special when he's actually not. It is just seeing kind of this like cat and mouse game from a woman who has no idea what she is hunting or what she is a part of. And it's leaving you on the edge of your seat going to these fantastical places and doing something special that we have never seen from this character. It's kind of fun, kind of interesting, and it's going to some incredibly unique places for a character like this. I think that could be something very special. And of course, for a director, you have to pick the right balance of somebody who can make that work and float into something beautiful. I picked I picked a director that some people might not have heard of before, but I think she could be fun to see in a big thing like this. Jamie Babbitt, who has worked on shows like The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Russian Doll, Only Murders in the Building. She obviously knows how to direct something special. So taking that energy and giving you like a big stage play of all these colorful characters and a lead that could just see the spiraling of a world of madness, I think you could do something very special there, and she could turn that into something very cool to see. Now for casting our Zatanna, this is a tough one, and I've done a video on this before, so I'm pulling from my own list, and some people might be like, oh, that's a weird choice, but I'm going to stick by Elizabeth Gillies playing my Zatanna. She is somebody who deserves a big role like this. She is somebody who could turn a franchise around and make it something special. She's got the right voice. She's got the right style. She's got the right seductiveness to her tendencies. I think she'd be a fantastic Zatanna and really make this something unique and fun that not a lot of people would be expecting from a character like this. I want to see more stuff from Zatanna, and Elizabeth Gillies, the right choice to make it happen. This character is full of fun, fresh ideas that I'm amazed haven't been explored before. There's so much wonder and mystery that could be presented in this world. You have a character so colorful who toys the line between a magical anti-hero and a full-fledged hero, and balancing those two worlds could be a fun act to try and accomplish. I would love to see more from Zatanna. I'd love to see her accomplish great wonders in this character, and I want to see her lead a franchise into the magical side of the DC universe. That is why I want to make a Zatanna film, and that is my pitch for the Batmaning of Zatanna. Now, thank you guys for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And if there's any DC characters you want to see me talk about, please leave them in the comments below. The next one, it's going to be a biggie. As always, have fun, stay safe, good luck.